Good morning everyone. Magandang araw po, magandang araw or maligayang araw ng mga puso. Okay? So a blessed Saturday to all our viewers all over the Philippines joining us live here on Tagpros Education Facebook page. So kumusta po kayo mga kaguro? Okay? So magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Welcome to today's Tagpros Education webinar entitled Emerging Threats, AI and Blockchain Safeguards in Staying Safe Online. Okay, so before we move on, just a friendly reminder, please practice responsible digital citizenship. Okay, avoid sharing personal email addresses or contact numbers in the comment section for your safety and privacy. Actually, yan po ang isa sa ating topic ngayong araw na ito. Okay, so moving on to welcome all of us in this special session, we are honored to have with us today Mr. Jim Toscano, co-founder and chief program officer of Tagpros Education. He is an award-winning Filipino educator, school leader, and digital learning consultant, recognized for his work in transforming education through technology, innovative learning design, and AI integration. Dear teachers, dear participants, our FB Live participants, let's give Sir Jim a virtual applause or heart react po dyan. Okay, Sir Jim, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tess. Like Tess, I apologize in advance as well for my voice. It's been a long time. Um, Maybe Pat, you can center me for now. Wala pa si Tess. All right. So, good morning, everyone. It's been a long time that I'm here. That I've been here. So it's great to see you again. We've done so much webinar before, and we've done as well a lot of CPD sessions, not shared in public, but I know that you're always with us. So, good morning to everyone joining us today over at our Facebook page. On behalf of Tag Pros Education and, of course, our AI platform Gabay, we warmly welcome you to our webinar Emerging Threats, AI and Blockchain Safeguards in Staying Safe Online. We are grateful that you are spending your Saturday morning. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone as well. To talk about something that affects us all, not just professionals, but as parents, educators, leaders, and digital citizens. Um, we are living in a world where AI and blockchain technologies, if you don't know what I'm saying, like blockchain technology, this is the session for you to understand. But these technologies are reshaping industries, transforming education, and unlocking new opportunities. Even if we say, sir, we're still not technology advanced in our school, AI, we don't know AI, we don't know blockchain, our tech is limited, don't worry because based on my experience, even as an administrator, a lot of the concerns that we have about scamming, about phishing, and all those bad experiences that we have with technology, it's actually even in our personal life. Nagpapadala tayo sa GCash, nagpapadala tayo sa kung saan-saan, naglalogin tayo sa mga online apps. These are all innovations, but they do come with risk. Whether we are professional, we're doing it in our professional life or in our professional life, personal life. So scams are becoming sophisticated as well. Deepfakes AI are harder to detect. Frauds are everywhere. So what can we do right now? It's really challenging because even a simple text message have evolved into coordinated, intelligent digital attacks. So the question right now is, meron bang mga threats na ganito? It's not about existence anymore. The question is, how prepared are we? So for today, we are honored to partner with Google Look for this important conversation. So Google Look is a global leader in digital trust and scam prevention. And today we are privileged to hear from Ms. Mel Megrino, the digital risk leader from Google Look, international speaker and columnist, along with his colleague as well, Luigi, who will guide us through the evolving scam landscape of 2025, emerging AI and blockchain threats, and of course, help us safeguard ourselves and make ourselves secure online. So she will also introduce Who's Call, a mobile application designed to help detect scam calls and messages in real time. So this is knowledge. This is a very important knowledge that we learn for ourselves professionally, but at the same time personally as well. This session is especially relevant for a lot of educators and school leaders. Our learners, in the end, are growing up in an AI powered world. Digital literacy today is not just anymore about using digital tools, but actually cyber awareness, scam detection, and ethical technology use. So, if you want to build resilient learners, have resilient teachers and school communities, let's make sure that we teach ourselves because we cannot give what we don't have. So if we don't know how to take care of ourselves online, it's hard to teach other people how to take care of themselves online as well. So as we begin, I invite you to stay fully present, take down notes if you don't understand like a technology stuff or something, ask them later on, and then of course, share this live session with your colleagues and networks. The more informed our communities are, the harder it becomes for malicious actors to succeed. So thank you for being here. Let us learn, reflect, and commit to becoming smarter, safer, and more responsible digital citizens and professionals. So, thank you, everyone, and have a great morning.
There. Thank you so much, Sir Jim, for that very insightful welcome message for all our participants today. I'll not keep you waiting, my dear participants. Now, let's move on to the highlight of our session. Our speaker this morning, okay, as what Mr. Toscano already mentioned a while ago, is a multi-awarded digital risk leader, international speaker, and a columnist at TechWatch PH. She serves as Southeast Asia Regional Director and Country Head of Google Look Philippines, the makers of Who's Call, a leading global trust tech company. She is also the Security Governance Director of the Global Anti-Scam Alliance and leads initiatives in cybersecurity, AI governance, and women's empowerment across the Asia Pacific region. With over 20 years of experience in technology, cybersecurity, and digital risk management, Ms. Mel brings insightful expertise on how we can protect ourselves in today's digital world. Marami pong scammers ngayong panahong ito. So Miss Mel will guide us through this on how to protect ourselves. Okay, please join me in welcoming Miss Mel Megrino. Heart react naman po dyan. And okay, our virtual applause.
Ayan. Hello. Hi, everyone. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ayan. So, first of all, maraming salamat po sa Tag Pro. So, of course, Francis, and then, of course, Miss Tess, thank you so much for the opportunity for giving Google the chance to actually, impart to you our knowledge, our insights in terms of, strengthening digital hygiene. Lalo na nandito na tayo in the age of AI. Marami rin tayong naririnig in social media, right, about blockchain. So we will also give you insights on those. And then of course, sa mga teachers po natin, yan. Sa mga teachers po natin na nasa webinar po today, Happy Valentine's Day po sa ating lahat. So, I hope you will learn something from this session. Ano? So, very timely ngayon. So, lalo na ngayon, Love Month, no? And today, Valentine's Day. So, talagang marami ngayong mga scams, lalo na yung mga love scams, no? Ayan. So, allow me to actually go through no our presentation. So together with me, kasama po natin ang aking partner si Luigi Longanilla who is our partnerships analyst also in Who's Call. So Who's Call, the developer of that is Gogulok. So sige, next slide tayo Luigi. Sige. So siguro before we further start, let's go back to basics, no? Because I'm pretty sure ito, naririnig niyo po ito lagi, no? Ano nga ba yung cyber attack? Ano nga ba yung cybercrime, 'di ba? Okay, so pag sinabi nating cyber attack, 'di ba? So this is an attempt to what? To practically steal, destroy, compromise, disrupt, disable any information services facilities or any information resources for that matter. Dalawang nature yung cyber attack. Yung una niyan is insider threats. So what does it mean? So it means that the perpetrator or the attacker, or it could also be a scammer or a fraudster for that matter, is inside your network. So like in your case, diba, for our dear teachers in this webinar, nasa loob po yan ng network ng sarili-sarili ninyong academic institution. So kapag naman sinabi nating outsider threat, no? So ang threat actor natin o yung attacker natin, scammer or fraudster natin is outside practically, no? Is outside your corporate network or your network within your academic institution. And this perpetrator or this attacker would want to penetrate, would want to steal information, would want to disrupt your online services. Ganun po siya. Kasama sa outsider threat, of course, yung mga nababalitaan natin, di ba? Na nabalitaan natin, lalong-lalo na for the past 2 years, no? Ang daming mga compromises, di ba? Sa mga private sector and more so in the different agencies in the national government na nabalitaan natin na ransomware, na encrypt yung database, di ba? Hindi sila makalogin sa system, na deface yung website, nabalitaan natin yan around quarter 2, if I'm not mistaken, quarter 2 last year, na deface yung website ng DOTR and so forth, di ba? So yan yung mga ano natin, yan yung mga yan yung kinaklasify natin under outsider threats kasi ang perpetrator niyan is outside of their network. In your case, outside your academic network. Ngayon, pag sinabi natin cybercrime, di ba? So rooted from a cyber attack, no? Di ba? Na ransomware ka, na social engineering attack ka, na scam ka, hindi ba? Or let's say nagkaroon ng unauthorized access sa network ninyo, sa network ng school ninyo. Nakuha yung personal data ng mga students, or if not naman, walang nakuhang personal data, pero yung mga school confidential information nyo with regard to probably finances, strategies, nakuha yon ng attacker, di ba? Those are all cybercrimes. Base dun sa latest report, no? Kasi ang World Economic Forum, ang WEF kung tinatawag nila, nagre-release to ng annual report, nagre-release to ng annual threat landscape. And ang scams, ang larangan ng scams and fraud, lagi namang ando dun yun. Pero syempre, we also have like mainstay, I would say, types of cyber threat. Ito yung mga ransomware, di ba? Ito yung mga zero-day attack, ganyan. So, in this quarter 1 release, no, bago lang dito na release, first time ito na hindi lang kinaklasify as a threat yung scams and fraud. So ito nga yung sinasabi kanina sa atin ni Francis, no? First time ito na classify that scams are already treated as a cybercrime. And it is not only treated as a cybercrime in certain parts of the world, no, but this is practically global. So that is also the reason why malamang po yung mga iba po sa atin nabalitaan niyo yung AFASA law, no? So yung AFASA law is the Anti-Fraud, no, Account Scamming Act. So ang sinasabi natin dito is nagkaroon na tayo ng batas to protect all of us, kahit po kayo mga teachers, di ba? Na kapag na-scam kayo, 'di ba? So, meron na tayong batas na po pwedeng mag-penalize sa mga scammers, may batas na tayo na po pwedeng mag-investigate, at higit sa lahat na pwede kong sabihin na may batas na tayo who can compete with the other laws governing or penalizing scams globally, kasi itong batas na to has a provision to temporarily hold the account, no, the account of the perpetrator, or all suspicious and malicious accounts that happen within the scam activity. So yun yung kagandahan nitong batas na to. So siguro ano naman, that is actually a milestone dito sa Philippines. And that law, no, the main proponent of that law is the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So kapag na social engineering attack kayo, na phishing kayo o na scam kayo, nagbigay kayo ng pera, 'di ba? Yung scammer na 'yan, 'di ba? Meron ng Anti-Scam Act that would really do the chase, would really do the investigation and hopefully to give justice, no, dun sa cybercrime na nangyari sa inyo. Next slide. So I've tackled about scams and fraud. So siguro ang i-highlight ko na lang dito, no, ang scam kasi before is I would say it's not executed on a bigger scale. That was before. Okay. Now, ang scams ngayon actually it's very, it's unfortunate to know that most of the cyber attacks, these days are actually rooted from scams. Ganun na siya. Dati kasi yung scam na yan more of physical, di ba? Or medyo small time lang yung scam. Ay, na-scam ako, ganito. It's not yet a big deal, no? Pero ngayon, scams, it's already treated here as a very serious threat and it's already a crime. So, sa scam kasi, ang pagkakaiba ng scam sa fraud, ang scam kasi is you or we, no? We as a digital user, we consented the sharing and we also consented the execution of that transaction. 'Di ba? Anong kaibahan niya sa fraud? Usually ang alam nating fraud, enterprise fraud, or pwede rin sa school ninyo, hindi ba? That is also classified as part of the enterprise fraud. 'Di ba? Meron palang mga maling booking ng accounts. Merong palang mga unauthorized alteration ng mga system configuration para makapag-execute ng mga kakaibang transactions, 'di ba? Suspicious transactions. Fraud 'yon. Pero ang kaiba ng fraud sa scam, ang fraud kasi is happening behind your back. Wala kang kinonsent, wala kang idea, may nangyayari na palang suspicious or malicious activity behind you. Ang scam kasi, involved ka mismo doon sa activity, 'di ba? Kinonsent mo, nagbigay ka ng personal information mo. Bakit? Kasi na-convince tayo. So, in other words, medyo naloko tayo, 'di ba? Medyo nabudol tayo. 'Yun yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. Sige, next slide po tayo. Okay, so ngayon talamak to, no? So massive deepfakes. Okay. So pag sinabi nating deepfakes, okay. Ang deepfakes really no, rooting from the core definition of deepfake, ang sinasabi natin diyan is it's really a synthetic media, no, and the intent is really to mimic, personalities, brands, ganyan, really to put disruption and glitch within the reputation, 'di ba, within the manner of their operations. Kung napapansin niyo, yung mga deepfakes, so maraming deepfakes, 'di ba, ng mga government officials natin, marami ring deepfakes ng mga celebrities, 'di ba? So may mga deepfakes din ng mga veteran journalist, marami rin yan, kagaya ni Kato Ning, no, sa mga fans dito ni Kato Ning, 'di ba? So isa ako sa mga fans ni Kato Ning kasi medyo malapit ako doon sa asawa ni Kato Ning, no, si Rosel, no? So ang dami and even the brands, naku, karamihan yan mga bangko, ganyan, no? So deepfake in its original term, audio and video deepfake ito. Yung maririnig nyo yung audio nyo, ginagaya siya, di ba? Ay, nako, boses to ni Mel, sabi ni Mel. Ayun daw, kumbaga mag-funds transfer daw tayo from our bank account going to this vendor account. Yan, mga gaya, audio deepfake yan. Yung mga video deepfake naman, of course, is a combination of image, kumaga live, ano siya talaga, video siya na may audio, na ang sinasabi natin ay ginagaya yung ano, 'di ba? Let's say ginagaya yung certain yung speech ni, let's say, President BBM, no? Doon sa ano, doon sa SONA and etc. Yun, meron din tayong mga social media scams, no? Sa social media scams, in an expanded definition of deepfake, sinasama na natin din siya. Meron din tayong mga sinasabi natin mga deepfake photos or images, di ba? Na lumalabas sa mga articles sa Facebook, di ba? Minsan ba kayo sa Facebook feeds nyo, meron ba yun? Yung bang parang hindi naman kilala, di ba? Parang hindi naman kilala na mga online news outlets. Karamihan mga celebrities, di ba? So, yun. So, yung mga iba doon, well, actually, marami ron, hindi naman totoo. So, all of those, no? Pero sa larangan ng fake news, iba ang propaganda ng fake news. Fake news is all, in most cases, is accompanied by a certain propaganda, no? So, ngayon, going back on the deep fake, so, paano nga ba ginagawa yung deep fake? Diba? Diba? Ayun. So, paano nga ba ginagawa yung deep fake? So dun sa deep fake, ginagawa siya, yung unang-unang way, yung unang-unang way para actually gumawa ng deep fake is ito yun, yung nabanggit ko dito, yung GAN. So, GAN is actually the generative adversarial network, no? So sa larangan ng GAN, kung mapapansin nyo dito, 'di ba? So meron ako dito ang kinuhang image. Sa GAN kasi, meron yang generator. So ibig sabihin, so ibig sabihin sa GAN is meron akong, let's say, original, sorry po, sobrang ingay ng aso ko, baka naririnig nyo. Yeah. So sa GAN, merong let's say meron akong image, 'di ba? Meron akong image. So yung image ko na 'yon, totoong image ko 'yon. So i-feed yan sa isang tool, 'di ba, na gumagamit ng framework ng generative adversarial network. So, dun sa discriminator mode ng GAN, gagawa niya ako ng deepfake photo. Parang ganyan. Tapos, merong isa naman na ang tawag doon is parang siya yung nagko-QA, yung isang component ng GAN. Or parang siya yung nagre-review. Ito bang na-generate na deepfake video ni Mel, 'di ba? Mukha na ba siyang realistic? So kung mapapansin nyo, may positive, may negative. May nagge-generate nung peking image, tapos yung isa naman nagche-check hanggang maging near reality siya. So, in other words, matalino rin yung framework ng GAN. Pero kasi sa ngayon, may mas mabilis na at saka I would say more realistic, no, framework to produce a deepfake, no. So meron tayong mga tinatawag na diffusion model. Sa diffusion model, using your prompt engineering, meron kang photo doon, 'di ba? And meron siyang scripts na niraran after processing near reality agad, no? The face, the photo, 'di ba, the voice, etc. So, 'yan yung mga ibang mga frameworks when it comes to deepfake technology. Sige, next slide. Ayan. So, ano naman yung scam landscape sa Philippines? So, nabanggit kanina ni Miss Tess and then ni Francis, di ba, na yung Whoscall. Sa Whoscall kasi is a digital mobile anti-scam solution. And within the mobile app na Whoscall, pwede nyo po itong ma-download, no? Google Play Store or App Store. Pwede po kasi kayo doon mag-report. Pwede po kayo doon mag-report ng scams. Pwede kang mag-report doon ng scam URL or let's say image. Ganun kasi yon. Ngayon, yung susunod na mga slides ipapakita namin is ano ba yung data that we were able to gather and analyze in Whoscall. Sige, next slide. Ayan. So, yung first one dito, yung scam calls. Si Whoscall kasi, nade-detect niya yung mga calls na pumapasok sa mobile nyo. Tapos sasabihin niya talaga sa inyo, i-label niya, no? Ay, scam ito. Or itong tumatawag na to na number, let's say collection agency pala to, ganyan. Si ABC Collection Agency, parang ganun. Bangko pala to, ay tumatawag sa'yo Metrobank, ay tumatawag sa'yo BDO. Nalalaman din niya kung ang tumatawag sa inyo telesales, 'di ba? So ganun ka strong yung Whoscall. So ngayon, dun sa Whoscall na yon, halimbawa, meron din namang chance na may tumatawag sa'yo, scammer pala, tas nakausap mo, pero hindi tayo na-flag ni Whoscall. Pwede rin ganon. Kasi, of course, data exchange with government and also with other private institutions and also crowdsourcing. Posible kasi baka yung number na yun hindi pa nare-report. So kung yung number na yun hindi pa nare-report, pwede nyo siyang i-report kay Whoscall. May reporting facility sa Whoscall. So, tapos yung numbers na sinishare nyo sa Whoscall or rather nire-report nyo ay binibigay po namin yan sa CICC, no? Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center under the leadership of USEC or Executive Director Attorney Aboy Paraiso. So, ganun yan, ano? So, we really work hand in hand, no, with the national government. So, ito yung number ng calls, no, na nag-gather namin sa Whoscall. So, nag-umpisa tayo last year, mataas yung number ng calls natin, 6 digits po yan. And then, nagkaroon ng napakalaking dip pagdating ng quarter 2. So, bakit kaya malaki yung dip? Kasi pagpalo ng quarter 2, kung natatandaan nyo, and it's also, like spread out as well in the news, no? May mga scam hubs o mga scam centers tayo na na-capture, na-crackdown, no? Specifically, yung mga scam hubs or scam centers within Luzon. So, na-crackdown natin yan. So, kasama dyan ng mga kaibigan natin sa PNP, sa Department of Justice, NBI, of course CICC, no, as the main coordinating body. Meron din tayong suporta diyan from Bureau of Customs, PAOK also, no. And also wag nating kalimutan, very very important yung mga LGUs natin, local government units, no. So nung na-crackdown yan, yung mga scam hubs na yan, kasama din diyan ang arrest, no, nung mga major suppliers ng IMSI catcher. So kaya nangyayari diyan, ang laki ng dropout ng calls. So nangonti 'yon. Pero pagpalo ng quarter 3 kasi medyo tumaas ulit from 34K to 62K. Bakit? Kasi nakita natin pagpalo ng quarter 3 last year, dumadami ulit yung mga tumatawag sa atin na nagpapanggap na siya daw ay galing sa collection agency na ito. At itong collection agency na yan ay authorized to na collection agency ng ganitong bangko. Marami yan, napakarami yan. Ang next dyan is yung telesales, no? Na sinasabi na, we are from this company, di ba? Authorized po kami ng ganitong retail company, and meron po kaming meron po kaming product offering ngayon o service offering. Pero lahat 'yon scam. So tumaas yan actually, no? May uptick talaga yung pagpalo ng quarter 3. So yung mga ganong calls na natatanggap natin. Tapos pagdating ng quarter 4 dito, ito na rin kasi yung yung kasama na dito yung massive campaign, public awareness and campaign on AFASA law being spearheaded by Bangko Sentral. And then of course, alam naman natin, no, ang national government, DICT, CICC, yung mga telco natin. In fairness, even sa Meta, 'di ba, sa Facebook, yung mga iba't ibang mga bangko, yung mga financial institutions natin, 'di ba? So talagang ang dami nilang nilabas, 'di ba, ng mga para mga digital literacy campaigns, mga scam awareness, fraud awareness at nagkalat 'to, no? Meron 'to na naka-print, ang dami sa social media, nare-report sa news, ang daming mga nai-interview, 'di ba, sa mga shows all about this. So we would say na at some point, no, naging effective yung efforts with regard to education, no? So kaya nakita natin na medyo malaki-laki yung dip from 62K to 28. Next slide. So tignan naman natin yung mga scam SMS. Okay, ang scam SMS, halos parehas 'to ng ng reason, crackdown ng mga scam centers, lalo na yung IMSI catcher, yung pagkaka-arrest ng major suppliers ng IMSI catcher kasi ang IMSI catcher is an unauthorized device that entered the country 2024, no? So may mga suppliers 'yan from Malaysia, mga ganyan, iba-iba, no? Malaysia is one. Kasi isa sila sa mga major suppliers niyan kasi. So ang nangyayari kasi diyan, minimimik niya, 'di ba? Minimimik niya kasi yung signal coming from your telco. So basically, ang nangyayari doon, even before reaching your telco infrastructure, nag-i-intercept doon ang IMSI catcher. So pag nag-intercept siya doon, ang lalabas noon is yung sender mo, technically, let's say hindi siya Globe, hindi siya Smart. Yung pekeng sender at pekeng message ng IMSI catcher, yung matatanggap mo. So siguro tatanungin niyo, paano naman nalaman yung number ko, 'di ba? Kasi sa IMSI catcher, pwede ka kasi magpasok doon with the power of AI, pwedeng mag-generate ng hundreds of thousands, 'di ba, ng mga mobile numbers. Meron kang Globe numbers, meron kang Smart numbers, halo na 'yan, prepaid, postpaid, 'di ba? So, na-upload 'yan doon sa IMSI catcher. So kaya pag na-intercept niya 'yon, kaya niyang mag-broadcast, kaya niyang mag-blast for hundreds of thousands, no? So usually, let's say, naka-mobile 'yan. So let's say yung si sindikato, ganun, nakakotse, naka-van, pwede rin siguro naka-motorsiklo, but in most cases siguro they are riding in really a vehicle. So let's say somewhere in Manila, with hanggang 8 to 12 kilometer radius kaya i-reach ng IMSI catcher. Malaki yon, 8 to 12 kilometer radius, di ba? So kung medyo maliit ang city o yung municipality, pwede pa yang tumawid sa susunod pa o dun sa katabi niya na city or municipality. Yun ang reach. Ibig sabihin nun, pag nag suspicious blast ang IMSI catcher, ganun kalaki yung kaya niyang hagipin. So yon basically, no? Pero because of this crackdown and capture, nakita natin yung steady decline, which is good kasi kasama na din diyan yung mga SMS messaging na nakikita natin na may mga link ng online gambling, kasama na din yan diyan. So kaya yung online gambling natin meron pa din, pero hindi na ganun kalalaki, no, yung datos or yung mga suspicious or phishing links or malicious web links with regard to online gambling. Next. The next one is on the risky URL. Next yan. Ang risky URL kasi, ito yung mga phishing links, no? Ito yung mga phishing websites, di ba? Na pwede ka makatanggap sa SMS mo. Kasi may lumulusot pa rin talaga eh. Pwede ka makareceive sa email mo. Pwede ka makareceive sa Viber, may tayo mag-Viber, o yung mga iba nagte-Telegram, baka may gumagamit din siguro sa atin ng WhatsApp, baka may ilan, gumagamit sa atin ng Signal, etc. Diba? So different instant messaging apps, no? Yung mga yun kasi, yung mga links doon, pwede kasi nila rin yun i-report kay Whoscall. Tapos pag ni-report nila yung kay Whoscall, i-paste natin yung link kay Whoscall. Pag ni-report yun kasi, parang i-risk profile sa inyo yun ni Whoscall. Sabi niya, ay ito safe link. Ay ito unknown link. Kasi wala pa kasi yan talaga sa database namin, no? Baka newly created talaga. Madali lang kasi mag-create ng ano ng web page, madali lang mag-create ng phishing link. Lalo na ngayon may AI, napakabilis na. And kung gusto mo mag-create niyan, 'di ba? Maraming mga tools at tong tools na to, murang-mura siya talaga, no? So as low as 8 to 10 US dollars. So magkano lang 'yan, 'di ba? Afford natin as kumpara dun sa amount na na-scam, 'di ba? So kaya afford na ng mga scammers, fraudsters at saka perpetrators. So pag kinumpile natin lahat ng mga suspicious links at domains, no? It's going to be on an upward trend. Kasama na din diyan yung mga social media scams, no? So reported lahat yan. This is a cumulative number. So kaya ang analysis namin dito, 2026 and for the years to come, lalong dadami ang social media scams. Lalong dadami yung deepfake scams. Ganun siya whether we like it or not. So that's the reason why it is very important for us to be educated and also to be equipped with a tool kagaya ng Whoscall na libreng-libre naming ibibigay sa inyo later. Si Luigi ang magbibigay niyan sa inyo, 'di ba? Para magkaroon kayo ng mas magandang protection online. Sige, next slide. Ayan. So ito naman yung mga emerging threats and trends for AI. So of course, nabanggit natin kanina, napakabilis at napakamura lang mag-fire up ng phishing website, 'di ba, ng phishing campaign using AI tools. So nakakalungkot, 'di ba? Kasi yung AI kagaya kanina, 'di ba, yung sa gabay, 'di ba, no, nung pinapanood ko kanina, naiintriga nga ako kasi I also run a non-profit company, WISAP, no? May mga digital literacy trainings din kami. Parang gusto kong mag-subscribe doon. Ganon. Kasi 'di ba, i-enter mo lang yung content, 'di ba? Tapos ang pag-enter mo nung content with the power of the Gabay AI, tutulungan ka na niya, 'di ba, ma-translate into PowerPoint. Although kanina syempre medyo mabilis lang yung pag-showcase nung gabay, I'm pretty sure pwede rin tayo siguro mag-add doon ng mga graphics. So very interesting, no? Kumbaga it will really save us time. So nakita ko yun na parang naalala ko yung non-profit ORCOP, the Women in Security Alliance Philippines, because we're doing also this digital campaign. Very useful for us. So ito yung isa sa mga maraming positibong gamit ng AI. 'Di ba? Nakakatuwa sa totoo lang, 'di ba? And even kami, no, pag nag-iisip kami ng mga marketing campaigns, sometimes we also ask si Gemini naman kami because we are more like a Google-based country in Gogolok, no. So si Gemini, nagtatanong kami ng mga ideas kay Gemini. Minsan nagpapasok kami ng mga websites o articles na nakita namin na paano kaya niya yon pwedeng magbigay ng insight kung ang produkto naman namin is mobile app, no, na anti-scam mobile app. So ang daming mga use case. Pero sa kabilang side, meron din kasing mga AI tools na ang intention masama. So ito na yon, 'di ba, yung social engineering. Meron ding mga AI tools na ginagawa siya para mag-create ng malware. Ano yung malware? Ito yung mga kasama na diyan yung mga yung virus, 'di ba, yung mga computer virus. Ito yung mga malicious, suspicious software or scripts na pag may dinownload ka na pwedeng games, pumunta ka sa isang website na hindi mo kilala, meron kang kinlik na link, 'di ba? Basta naka-connect ka sa internet, pwedeng mag-execute ang isang script and makapag-download ng malicious script, pwede sa laptop mo, pwede sa cellphone mo, pwede sa tablet mo, no? And the moment na na-download na yung script na yon, merong mission, may objective yung script na yon na nasa phone mo. Marami. Pwedeng i-observe niya ano bang activities mo. Pwedeng titignan niya ano bang information ang nandoon. And as long as your phone is connected to the internet, that malware can transmit data coming from your phone. Ganun yan, di ba? Yung isa naman, automated vulnerability exploitation. Ang sinasabi dito, alam nyo, ang mga scammers ngayon, tsaka fraudsters, matatalino na sila. Bakit? Ibig sabihin, malaki na ang technical knowledge nila. No? So, kaya nakakatakot, di ba? So, ibig sabihin nun, halimbawa, merong, let's say si Luigi, no? yung aking kasamahan. Let's say gusto siyang i-target, di ba? So ngayon, kung gusto siyang i-target, merong mga AI tools na, alam mo yun, ipa-prompt lang niya yung Facebook page yung Facebook account, di ba may link yan, di ba? Tapos, hahanapin nun kung ano yung mga activities ni Luigi. Parang babasahin niya yung online profile niya. In the same way, sa mga schools, kayo, di ba? Affiliated kayo lahat sa mga eskwelahan. Siyempre, may mga website ang schools nyo, di ba? Baka may mga online forms kayo, online registration, etc. Baka baka nagpa-facilitating kayo ng mga online payments, mga ganon, di ba? Sa automated vulnerability exploitation, using an AI tool, no? Maraming klaseng mga AI tools. Pwede siya mag-conduct ng stealth scan. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Hindi na didetect. Kung halimbawa, meron kayong detection sa school website nyo, ay merong gustong mag-attack, may nag-i-scan. Sa stealth scanning, hindi siya agad madaling ma-detect. Anong intention ng stealth scanning? Kumukuha ko ng information, kumukuha ko ng digital footprint ng website nyo. And lumalabas sa digital footprint, ano rin ang mga weaknesses o yung mga version ng mga applications nyo, di ba? Na, alam mo yung, kumbaga, luma ng version kasi anything that is outdated, vulnerable siya, 'di ba? Kasi ibig sabihin, hindi kompleto yung mga security patches noon. Nakikita lahat 'yon. So in other words, ano ibig sabihin noon? Nalalaman, 'di ba, nung kabila, ano yung weaknesses niyo, ano yung attack surface ng school website ninyo. Ganun po siya. Be it an online school registration website, etc. Ganun ang ginagawa dito. Sige. Ngayon kanina, isisingit ko lang on the blockchain. Alam ko marami kayong nababasa about blockchain sa internet, 'di ba? So ako po ay columnist sa TechWatch PH. May mga kapwa akong columnist doon na nagbibigay ng opinion sa blockchain. May mga kapwa columnist ako doon na nagki-criticize din ng blockchain pero hindi yan ang topic natin ngayon. Okay? So, ang sinasabi natin doon, sige, i-explain lang natin siya in a layman's term, 'di ba? Ang blockchain kasi is a ledger. Diba? So, basically, tama yung mga nababalitaan nyo, naririnig nyo, nababasa nyo, listahan. So, inexplain namin to, no, sa Sulong na Bayan. Diba? Channel 23 kahapon. Kasi I was there, no? I was one of the co-hosts kahapon ng Sulong na Bayan, kahapon ng 3 p.m. Channel 23. So, sinabi natin doon na garbage in, garbage out. Yan, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung yung ipapasok mo sa ledger, talagang maling amount na, yung amount na padded na. Meaning, ando doon na yung mga kickback ng kung sino-sino yan, dapat pala to 30 million lang. Aba, ginawa mong 200 million. So, ano ipapasok mo? 200 million. So, alam mo yun, kumbaga, listahan kasi siya eh. So, ibig sabihin, yung data nando doon ay malicious din pala. 'Di ba? So, hindi totoo yung sinasabi natin na, uy, si blockchain yung mag-o-audit. Oo, mag-o-audit siya ng garbage in, garbage out. Ganun siya. 'Di ba? O yung blockchain pala, ano ba siya? Hindi yan nahahack. Hindi po. Wala pong system na hindi nahahack. Kasi lahat ng system may vulnerability. As long na yaan may vulnerability, 'di ba? And as long as continuous ang enhancement mo sa isang system at hindi mo napapatch lahat ng mga loopholes niyan, 'di ba? Kasi in most cases lagi siyang gano'n, walang 100% foolproof o secure proof na or like hack proof rather na system. Lahat po yan, meron at merong tendency na ma-hack. Yun yung katotohanan yan. So, ako na yung magka-clarify sa inyo kasi ako, umikot na ako as a cybersecurity leader, nag-critical industry na ako, nag-secure na ako ng mga kuryente, yung mga nasa Manila. Hindi ko nasasabihin kung anong kumpanya yun, malamang alam na alam nyo. Nag-design na ako ng smart grid, nag-secure na ako ng smart grid, nag-telco ako, nag-fintech ako. Para lang alam nyo, clarity, di ba? Blockchain, can still be compromised. Yun ang totoo nun. Hindi totoo na sinasabi nila na ang blockchain highly secured at hindi po yan mahahack. You ask any other cybersecurity expert, they will also say the same to you. Yun. So that is my opinion on the blockchain. Ini-impart namin yun sa inyo para hindi kayo blinded, di ba? Kasi baka kala nyo, nag-blockchain din yung school namin. Walang impact yun sa fraudster kung meron kang insider threat. Sabihin lang niya, ipapad ko to, o di yun i-encode mo. 'Di ba? Pag inaudit mo, o nakapad ito yung naka-record. Pero outside the blockchain, ay may hatian pala. O, Malalaman ba ni blockchain yun? Hindi. Diba? Sige, next slide tayo. Ayun, kung gusto nyo ng conversation ng blockchain, sasabihan ko si Francis tsaka si Miss Tess. Magkakaroon kami niyan, another exclusive sa Sulong na Bayan. Manood kayo. Doon namin hihimayin yan. Okay, so social media and online privacy. So dito naman sa social media and online privacy, may mga risk tayong tinitignan, no? Kaya wag tayo basta-basta mag-share ng information ninyo. 'Di ba? Bakit? Kasi kung so much information ang share nyo, baka it will also damage you as an individual, 'di ba? And then meron din tayong mga tinatawag na mga cyberbullying. Iingat tayo dito. I'm pretty sure kayo po mga teachers alam na alam nyo to, and this is also something that you impart, no, or that you teach your students then, or your mentees. And then of course, marami rin tayong mga klase ng mga security risk. Isa dyan yung physical security risk. Although ngayon kasi, no, karamihan kasi ng mga risk talaga and materialization ng risk happening online. Medyo less ngayon yung nakikita natin na mga security risk that's happening physical, no? Although the massive, really dangerous, it's a hybrid. It's a combination of online and physical. Sige, next slide tayo. Ang ano naman dito is, so paano natin i-improve yung privacy natin, di ba, online? So tignan nyo po, di ba, like sa Facebook, check nyo, punta kayo doon sa account settings, di ba, may privacy doon. Di ba, kasi baka po yung Facebook ninyo naka-broadcast sa lahat. Well, it is really up to you. I am not saying that it is bad. 'Di ba? Kasi lalo na pag KOL kayo, ganun, ay may mga teachers pala tayo dito, 'di ba? Nagba-vlog, ang dami palang followers. Okay lang 'yun, 'di ba? Ang control no nasa iyo. Ano yung depth ng information about you, about your family that you wanted to share online. Kasi kung ang education, kung ang content mo naman online, kahit naka-broadcast ka is really educational, ganun, you wanted to review a gadget, ganyan, 'di ba? Or let's say meron kang latest research you wanted to share, okay yun kasi ang ganda ng motibo natin. So kaya lang, hinay-hinay lang tayo anything personal that you wanted to share in the social media. No, kasi napakadaling kumuha ng digital footprint ninyo. So you also need to be choosy. Sino ba 'tong mga nag-a-add sa akin? Kilala ko ba? Again, 'di ba? Depende ano ba yung purpose ng Facebook account mo. Eh kung ang Facebook account mo, ang purpose is you really wanted to educate, ganun, wala ka naman talagang masamang tinapay, ganyan. So, well, tayo mga Pilipino, generally friendly tayo. I-qualify nyo lang. Kasi sa totoo lang, maraming baka yung nag-a-add sa inyo, mga avatars pala yun. O yung mga nag-a-add sa inyo, baka troll pala yun. Maraming mga ganun. I myself, meron din akong inaalaga ang avatar ko sa Facebook. 'Di ba? Parang, behind this lady pala, naku si Mel pala to. 'Di ba? Hindi lang yung Facebook account ko na alam ng mga ibang friends ko. I have other Facebook accounts and I have my own uses of my Facebook avatar. So it's up to me if I want to use it badly or I want it to use it on a good side. So in other words, marami akong avatars. And ang avatar, inaalagaan yan. Kasi eventually, kung gusto mo mang scam, you can have your avatar approach a target in the Facebook. So, ganyan yung mga modus operandi dyan. Then, of course, meron dito 2FA, but of course, you wanted to level this up. You may want to use stronger forms of authentication. So, let's do the multi-factor authentication. Next slide. Ito naman yung, so ito naman yung recognizing and reporting social media scams, no? Of course, tayo initially nire-report natin yan sa Facebook, ganyan. Tapos, of course, since ang lagi naman natin ginagamit is yung ating mobile, di ba? So, kailangan nating i-ensure po, no, na yung mobile natin, up to date lagi, yung mga patches, kasama yung security patches ng operating system mo. Be it an iOS, or be it what you call this Android, 'di ba? So, i-ensure natin 'yung kasi very important. Pinagbimitsahan kasi 'yan. Yung hindi updated ng operating system nyo, pinagbimitsahan 'yan ng mga cyber attacks, 'di ba? That is actually, that can, or the infusion of malware sa phone nyo. Lalo na pag hindi updated ang software nyo, mas mabilis mag-execute ang isang malware. So tapos yung isa naman dito nilagay namin si Whoscall mamaya in a little while nandiyan si Luigi para i-walk through kayo, 'di ba? Para at least sa Whoscall may protection na kayo, pwede rin kayong mag-report sa Whoscall at ang nire-report nyo sa Whoscall ay binibigay namin sa national government for their investigation and actionable intelligence. Next slide. Secure remote work. So, meron tayong mga pagkakataon, di ba, na baka nagwo-work from home tayo, baka may mga schools po na pumapayag for work from home. Siguro lalo na nung pandemic, and halimbawa man, wag naman sana, magkaroon ulit ng pandemic outbreak, di malamang. Yung mga na naman tayo, online classes, di ba, mga estudyante natin, nag-a-attend ng online class, coming from the different, di ba, siguro parts of the city, ganun siya, di ba? So, ang sinasabi natin dito, gumamit tayo ng VPN. Well, yung mga iba kasing mga malalaki yung budget na institution, they have a zero trust technology, no? Na wherein it facilitates secure connection from the source to the target and target to the source. May mga ganon. Tapos, sa Wi-Fi, syempre, halimbawa, nag-team building tayo, di ba? So, pumunta tayo sa, let's say, nag-check-in tayo sa isang hotel, sa isang team building facility, meron dong public Wi-Fi, lalo na sa mga hotel, sa mga malls, ganyan, kasama na yon. Hindi naman natin sinasabing wag na wag ka ko-connect sa public Wi-Fi kasi sa totoo lang kahit ako, 'di ba, ang hirap sabihin. Pero kung ko-connect man tayo, siguro piliin natin ano ba yung mga online activities na gusto nating gawin using the public Wi-Fi as our internet connectivity. Bakit? Kasi ang public Wi-Fi, karamihan diyan hindi siya laging pinapatch, 'di ba? And kung hindi siya laging pinapatch, vulnerable siya. So siguro kung gano'n, medyo iwasan natin iwasan natin mga mag-online funds transfer. Nga ganyan. Iwasan natin mag-online payments, di ba? So may mga, siguro mga, I would say, sensitive activities tayo na iwasan natin kapag naka-public Wi-Fi tayo. Ngayon, kung may budget naman tayo, di ba? So, pwede ka namang mag-subscribe ka na lang sa data. So, depende, di ba? It could be a local data kung nasa abroad ka. So, pwede ka mag-roaming or pwede kayong bumili ng SIM card doon. So, things like that. Next slide. Yung reporting naman, kapag merong incident, no, ang naman, of course, you need to report it to your school IT, di ba, for their investigation. And then, syempre, ang national government kasi natin, they also wanted to extend support and gusto rin nilang maintindihan, as part of the whole of society approach. Ano-ano ba yung mga cyber attacks, cyber incidents na nangyayari, even with our private sector, wherein academe is part of that, di ba? So, report po natin siya sa 1326. In fact, sa 1326 last December, nilaunch namin ang Scam Bayan. So, parang, is that a scam? Parang ganon. So parang under to ng CICC, ang flagship nito is Scam Safe. The Scam Safe of CICC is powered by us, no, by GoGoLook. So basically, nag-access sila ng billions of scam record and data namin in the Philippines and across the globe. So yan ang suporta na binibigay namin sa national government. Of course, pwede rin po kayong mag-report sa PNP-ACG, no? So marami rin tayo ngayon, kung kayo po ay na-scam at may involvement to ng pera kasama ang isang financial services company, pwede po kayong mag-report sa Bangko Sentral mismo. So under COPA, meron sila doon, meron sila dong hotline or meron sila dong link na pwede po natin yung i-report, no, para ma-investigate po nila. Next slide. Password security, okay. Well, iwasan natin yung medyo madadaling madadaling password. Ganyan, 'di ba? Yung mga madaling mahulaan kasi bakit? Alam nyo, kahit nung wala pang AI, sa larangan ng ethical hacking, may mga tools kami na pwedeng mag-crack ng password nyo. Ganun siya. Kaya lang, nung wala pang power ng AI, medyo nagtatagal kami mag-crack ng 14-character password. Medyo matagal yon kasi mahaba, tas alphanumeric pa. Diba? Meron certain level of complexity. Pero what is the point that I'm driving at? Crackable siya talaga. So kaya ang gusto natin, pwede tayong gumamit ng password na mayroong password complexity, tsaka mas mahaba siya para mas mahirap siya, mas matagal siyang makrack, and i-supplement natin yan ng multi-factor authentication, kagaya ng biometrics authentication. Ayun. So, mag-explore tayo doon. Wag po tayo matakot sa biometrics authentication. Seguridad nyo po yan. Kasi yung mga iba natatakot. 'Di ba? Wag po tayong matakot kasi that is a higher level of security. Kasama na din dyan yung fingerprint ninyo. 'Di ba? Yun. Sige, next slide tayo. Ang mobile security naman, okay, so same din, 'di ba? Kagaya sa mga iba-ibang endpoints, i-try natin na ma-encrypt yung data sa phone natin, or let's say sa tablet natin, mag-update tayo ng mga antivirus, we need to secure our logins, 'di ba? Tapos we need to watch out, 'di ba? Baka nagda-download po tayo ng mga productivity tools, akala natin productivity tools o akala natin legitimate na games, 'di ba? So, dina-download natin siya sa mga iba-ibang websites. Usually, mga nagda-downloads nyo outside the Google Play Store and App Store, those are repackaged. Kapag suspicious yan, for sure, repackaged application yan. So, ibig sabihin yan, nagkaroon ng reverse engineering, kumuha ng portions ng code doon, binild ng attacker yon, nag-infuse ng malware doon. So, yun yung usually na available sa mga websites to. Hindi Google Play Store or App Store to. So, in most cases, doon yung mga medyo magtaka kayo. Unless, kilala nyo yung organization na yun or kumpanyang yun, at alam nyo, na-verify nyo na hindi suspicious yung mga applications o tool na kailangan nyo na madadownload sa website nila, then you can do so. But all others, kailangan talaga mag-verify tayo. Next slide. Phishing, ito kanina nasabi ko na to, I won't dwell so much on the phishing kasi kasama to sa mga scams, no? So next slide tayo. Secure internet browsing, yung VPN na banggit ko kanina, siguro ang gusto ko lang i-highlight dito, yung mga links na sinesearch natin o vini-visit natin, make sure na naka-HTTPS po siya. Kasi may mga iba pa rin na naka-HTTP. Yung mga iba kasi ganito yan, HTTPS yan, pag kinlik nyo. Pero may page redirection yan. Sa page redirection nun, HTTP lang pala. Ibig sabihin, hindi secure ang link. Pag hindi secure ang link, kaduda-duda po siya, may malware po yung link, may masamang intention po yung web page o yung website na yon sa inyo. Okay, next. Physical security, some reminders, 'di ba? Sabi ko may mga iba pa rin na tumatawid pa rin on the physical world. So we need to lock our devices, we need to secure access, no? Wag din tayo mag-iiwan ng mga confidential information natin dun sa mga desk natin, 'di ba? Sa school offices natin. Kasi it also it also gives information about us. And of course, kung confidential yan, kaya nga confidential ang ibig sabihin, pili lang yung mga tao o yung mga parties na pwedeng magkaroon ng kopya noon at pwedeng makabasa noon. Ganon siya, no? So iwasan po natin 'yon. Tapos syempre, meron tayong mga physical security measures sa mga entry points ng facilities at exit point, gawin po natin 'yan. Siguro kasama na din diyan yung pag-scan ng gamit natin, ng bag natin, kung may facility tayong ganon, maganda po 'yon. Okay, next. Okay, so I will turn this over to Luigi, no, para ma-educate naman kayo on Who's Call. Kasi ito, libre namin tong ibibigay sa inyo para sa protection po ninyo. Sige, go ahead, Luigi.
Hi, good morning everyone. Thank you, Miss Mel, for that insightful discussion. No? So to discuss the Who's Call product features, no, nandito po kami ngayon para i-discuss sa inyo kung ano pa talaga si Who's Call, sino ba si Who's Call, at ano ba yung mga nagagawa ni Who's Call as a mobile application. So we have 6 product features po ni Who's Call. So, number 1, it's a very powerful caller ID. So, kapag sinabi po nating caller ID, ibig sabihin po nito is nadedetect niya po lahat ng mga scam calls, spam calls na nare-receive natin from day-to-day basis. So, for example, meron kang na-receive na tawag from ABC, ganyan. So, lalabas sa cellphone mo, sa mobile phone mo, yung nakikita niyo po sa screen ngayon na no answer or reported by the community. And then maririsk profile niya po agad kung ano yung nature nung tawag na yun, kung scammer ba siya, kung harassment ba siya. So that's how powerful po si Who's Call caller ID. And then Si SMS ID and scanner naman, so very similar kay caller ID, no? But this one is for the text messages. So, pag sinabi nating SMS ID and scanner, so madedetect niya po agad kung ano yung mga yung nature ng text message na nare-receive natin. Kung for example, it contains a malicious link, or again, it's a scammer, it's spam, ganyan. So makikita po natin doon sa mobile phones natin kung ano yung nature. But this feature po only 100% works kapag gumagamit ka po ng Android phone mo. Bakit po natin hindi kaya sa iOS devices? It's because of the data restriction policies of Apple. So but if you're using Android phone, then gagana po siya fully yung feature ni SMS ID and scanner. So, then for the URL scanner naman, so kunyari may nakita po kayong while browsing the internet, while browsing Facebook, ganyan, or pag may na-receive kayong text messages na may URL, so you just have to copy and paste yung URL na yon dun sa check function ni who's call through the URL scanner, and then i-risk profile niya po yun. Yun po yung sinasabi kanina ni Miss Mel na madedetect niya kung ano ba yung nature ng URL na yun, ng risky URL na yun, kung it's malicious, it's suspicious, or it's safe, no? So, yun po si URL scanner. Then for the content checker naman, kapag 'di ba tayong mga Filipino, mahilig tayong mag-browse nga sa internet, or meron tayong mga nare-receive na mga messages. So, kapag kunyari ayaw mo yung i-copy and paste and URL scanner yung URL na yon or yung number na yon, pwede mo siyang i-screenshot. Diretso po siya lalabas, and then i-upload mo lang yung screenshot image na yon kay content checker, and then i-risk profile niya po agad yung nature nung screenshot na yon or nung image na yon, kung if it's scam, suspicious, or safe, no? So, pwede din siyang makadetect ng mga deepfake, ganun, sasabihin niya sa'yo if it's suspicious content. But this feature only works for still images, meaning to say, yung mga ano lang po, yung mga image lang talaga, and hindi pa po natin kaya hindi pa po kaya ni content checker na ma-detect yung mga video or yung mga GIF natin or yung mga iba't iba pang format yung iba't ibang format po. So, next is the ID security naman. So, if you're wondering, nagtataka ka kung ano ba yung mga data na nakuha sa akin kaya, or may nalik bang data sa akin? So, meron po tayong 2 entry points for the ID security. Number 1 is your mobile number. So, pwede mong i-type doon yung mobile number mo, and then i-check niya po agad yon kung ano yung mga data na nakuha sa'yo at kung sino yung kumuha ng data na yun sa'yo. Number 2 is yung email address mo. So, pwede mong ilagay yung email address mo, and then ganun din po, i-check niya din kung ano yung mga data na nakuha sa'yo. For example, yung pangalan mo, yung address mo, or kung saan ka nagtatrabaho, ano yung school na pinapasukan mo. So, yun yung mga data po na nakukuha sa atin from day to day. Kaya, mag-iingat po tayo palagi sa mga binibisita nating mga websites at sa mga pinag-fill-upan po natin ng mga forms, kasi pwede po makuha ng mga hackers and scammers yung mga information natin na ganun kadali. So, yun po si ID security. And then for the scam alerts naman po, kapag gusto natin mag-subscribe sa mga recent modus operandis, recent scam trends, scam news, ganyan, from the Philippines and also from the region sa Asia Pacific or even globally, pwede po natin siya i-enable, and then mag-notify po sa atin palagi kung meron mga recent nga na news or ano ba yung mga ginagawa ngayon ng mga scammers na yan. So, basically, yun po yung 6 na features ni Who's Call. If you want to download Who's Call, ito po yung process ng pag-download ni Who's Call, no? So, kailangan lang po natin mag-follow ng certain steps para ma-configure talaga si Who's Call sa mobile phones natin. So first is for Android, no? So basically, ilo-launch mo lang si app. You just have to go to the Play Store, Google Play Store, and then ida-download si Who's Call. Tapos ilo-launch mo na si app, no? Pag binuksan mo si app, makikita mo po agad ito. And then all you have to do is to agree all of these terms and conditions and privacy policy. Don't worry, your data and your data and information are all secured po, kasi we regularly follow yung si PIMS and also yung mga ISO standards natin, the 2700, 2701, and then the 9001. So, yun po yung mga ISO standards na lagi pong chine-check or lagi pong nag-undergo si GoGoLook for your data security and information security. So, in-next mo lang po siya, then this is the part where ito po yung pinaka-importanting part ng pag-configure kay Whoscall kasi kailangan po natin siyang i-default as our ID and spam app. So, i-click nyo si Whoscall and then set as default. And then, i-allow mo lang po lahat ng mga toggles na yan. So, and then for you just have to grant notification permissions. So, continue lang po, then got it. Tapos, ito po ito po importante to na i-grant natin yung allow display over the apps para marireceive pa din natin kung ano yung mga messages or mga calls na nare-receive natin from day to day. Ayan. And then you just have to register and log in. Don't worry, wala kaming hihingin po na information from you. You just have to log in yung mga either Gmail or Facebook account nyo. And then, check out yung if you want to avail the premium subscription, we have po, mabibill po kay either the 990 pesos for the whole year subscription or the 599 for 6 months and then the 199 for 1 month subscription. And then if hindi mo naman po gusto yon, you just have to click the free plan or the X button here and then ma-redirect ka na po dito sa user interface natin. So that's for Android. For iOS naman, it's very similar po to the Android. Mas less lang yung steps niya. So again, pupunta ka lang kay App Store and then ida-download mo si Whoscall, tapos ilo-launch mo si app, and then you just have to click agree to the terms and conditions and privacy policy of the app, and then i-continue mo lang, tapos allow yung si Whoscall na mag-notify sa'yo, and then ayan po, log-in ka lang or sign up either from your Google account, Facebook account, or Apple ID. And then, i-grant mo lang ulit si system permission, so start setup, and then continue setup, tapos start setup mo lang ulit. And then, that's all. Redirect ka na po ulit dito. So, either i-X mo or gusto mo i-try yung 7 days free trial ni Whoscall Premium or the free plan. And then, you're already set na po to use the Whoscall. And gagana na siya. Lahat na na-discuss kong features earlier, makukuha niyo po siya all in for free. So, binibigay po natin to for free to the Filipino people para lahat po tayo ay maging protected against scams. So, as part of our promise to Tag Pros po, to Sir Jim and to the team, we are here to give you a free Whoscall subscription na premium po. But it comes with ads, no? So, this, paano po natin siya mariredeem si Whoscall Premium gift code, no? So, punta lang po tayo ulit kay dito sa redeem.whoscall.com. So, HTTPS po yan. Again, going back dun sa discussion kanina ni Miss Mel. So, again, dapat lagi tayong mag-visit sa mga HTTPS na sites para ma-ensure natin na safe talaga yung mga sites na binivisit natin. So, yan po, HTTPS, redeem.whoscall.com, and then you just have to log in. Yung same na account na pinang-log in niyo po. So, either your Google, your Apple ID, or your Facebook. So, ayun po. And then, you just have to type po si Whoscall 2025. So, ito po yung premium code na ibibigay natin sa inyo. So, dito nyo po siya itatype sa enter gift code si Whoscall 2025. All caps po siya. So, valid po na mag-redeem kayo until December 31, 2026. And then, after nyo po i-redeem, may 6 months validity po kayo ng Whoscall Premium Basic. Ayun po. So, i-click nyo lang si redeem, and then, i-confirm nyo lang po siya, and then, i-relaunch nyo lang yung app niya, and then, makikita nyo po doon na you're all set, or you're subscribing now to the Whoscall Premium Basic package of Whoscall. So, that's all po for the Whoscall features and the how to onboard and how to redeem the Whoscall Premium Basic code po. So, thank you so much po again for having us. Again, this is Luigi from Whoscall from Google Philippines.
Ayun, maraming salamat po Sir Luigi, and of course, Miss Melano for this insightful and empowering presentation. So yan po, no, meron na po tayong free or premium kapag nag-avail po kayo nitong Who's Call. Okay, so again, let's give our applause, virtual applause for Miss Mel and Sir Luigi for presenting us the Who's Call, and for Miss Mel for presenting us the topic on how to be safeguarded. Nakakatuwa po, no? Ang ganda nung presentation kanina kasi tama nga, lagi po maraming nang-i-scam sa atin. Ano? So at this point, please feel free to type your comments or your question in the chat box. And let's try if Miss Mel is still with us so she can answer. I think there's one here. Hi, Miss Mel. I'd like to look into this question. Ito po, Miss Mel, sabi ni Mr. Roland Banyes. Possible ba na may AI na madedetect ang fake news and will delete it within 3 seconds on all platforms? Asking kasi meron nagkiklaim na meron na daw po na nakadevelop nito locally.
Okay, so sige, thank you so much for the question. So usually, no, so your question is really on the fake news, no. I think may mga AI powered kasi na mga fact check.
Hello, Ma'am Mel?
Sorry.
Nawala po ng sound.
Sorry. Ayan. Sorry, can you hear me? Ayan. So siguro yung with regard doon sa yung sa fake news detection, there are actually fact checkers that are also powered by AI, no, that you can use. Pero hindi lang kami sure na kasi ibang larangan yung sa fake news, over deep fake, no. Kung pag na-detect niya ba ito, madi-delete niya to in 3 seconds kasi usually ang pag-delete niya kasi parang sinasabi mo pa is ma-take down. Ang nasa kabilang side kasi ang pag-take down ng isang fake news or fake article eh. So in other words, kung sino yung nagma-manage ng site, yun yung kinakailangan na usually na mag-take down. So to be very transparent, I am not aware, and even TechWatch PH, we're not aware, we haven't showcased this one, na parang merong tool na pag na-detect niya na fake yon, madi-delete niya. It's more of my tool na pag na-detect niya fake yun, talagang ipa-prompt ka niya na this one is fake, but deleting it, like deleting it from FB, parang ganon, I don't think so. Unless na lang meron siyang makinarya to do the very very quick takedown with the different platforms. Ganun kasi siya kasi may process ang takedown eh. May process kasi ang takedown. Baka pwede niyang i-delete dun sa hindi ko alam. Pero nevertheless sa larangan ng cybersecurity, when we do takedowns kapag may mga cyber attacks, may proseso kasi siya. So depende sa framework niya. Kung nakapag-establish siya ng ganong partnership, collaboration with social media platforms or online platforms, that will be very good, no? Pero ako personally, wala pa ako nabalitaan na at madi-delete niya after 3 seconds. Very prescriptive, no? 3 seconds. So, I don't know.
Ayun, maraming salamat, Miss Mel. Actually, no, nung nakikinig po ako kanina ng mga sinasabi ninyo, nakakalungkot na karamihan po ng mga senior citizens natin, actually, sila yung nagiging biktima ng scammers. Kasi talagang lalo na sa Facebook. Ano po? So, ito po merong isang question uli. A friend lost money from online bank fraud. Can still get back daw ba? If ever. Marami rin po kasi mga kaibigan teacher na ganyan, ano?
O kailan po yan?
Kailan daw to nangyari?
Pag medyo matagal na, medyo mahirap na yan.
GCash, last year.
Last year. Nako. Oo, kasi ganito yan, yung anti-scam policy or the law, no? Dati yung let's say AFASA or let's say sa ibang countries meron na niya like Singapore, Australia, gano'n. Meron kasing lead time 'yan, 'di ba? Kasi kung matagal na 'yan, mahirap mo na siya talagang ma-catch. So basically, ano ibig sabihin nun? From the time na halimbawa ngayon 11:30, ngayon nangyari yon, you need to report it right away. Kasi yung makinarya niyan, 'di ba yung linkages nun, matitrace pa yan, bago kasi yan eh. But if it's last year, well, you can report as part of the historical data and potentially, baka yung scammer na yan, kasi marami pa rin siyang na-scam, baka nasa records na ng CICC o ng PNP-ACG, maganda pa rin ma-report. Pero giving the money back, depende pa rin. Kung yung scammer na yan o kung merong mang link yan na binigay sa inyo or whatever, is currently under investigation ng PNP, we will see, 'di ba? We will see kung pwede pa rin siyang baka mas may chance ka doon. 'Di ba? Kasi ang problema diyan sobrang tagal na eh. Baka mas may chance ka ron. So, meaning ang chances mo is kung may match yan doon sa mga ongoing investigation, meaning kapag tinrace nila, syempre bibigay ka ng scam information, baka may link yan, may number, or may agency siya na sinasite dyan, na baka na kasama yan sa mga naka-blacklist, baka magkaroon po tayo ng chance, no? Meron tayong pag-asa doon. Pero kung talagang wala, kasi may mga small time scammers din, so baka hindi na natin ano yan. But you can always report. Kaya lang, recovering it, baka very challenging na po.
Yes, Miss Mel, yung whose call po ba ay kaya po yung ma-detect kapag ni-report natin under whose call, yung mga ganong scammer na kumbaga nangunguha ng pera sa mga GCash ng ating mga user.
Okay, sa whose call kasi, ano yung mga kaya niyang ma-detect? Number. I-upload mo doon yung mobile number, kaya niya ma-detect. URL, upload mo doon yung URL, kaya niya ma-detect. Photo, di ko alam kung nabanggit kanina. Like for example, pag nagba-browse ka, or kahit sa chat, SMS, pwede mo i-screenshot. I-upload mo dun sa content, dun sa check function rather ni whose call, yung photo. It could be a screenshot of a website na medyo questionable sa'yo. It could be a screenshot of a Viber chat. It could be a screenshot of any instant messaging or SMS. Upload yun. Babasahin kasi ng LLM namin eh. Pagbasa ng LLM namin yon, sasabihin niya kung anong analysis niya. So at least, meron ka pong parang precautionary measure doon, 'di ba? Na okay. So medyo pinagdududahan pala to ni whose call. Siguro wag ko na lang muna ituloy yung conversation. Kasi 'di ba parang ang pinag-uusapan natin dito malaki-laking amount din, 'di ba? Or at all, wag ko na ituloy kasi 'di ba? Kung medyo maano talaga, tight talaga yung sa risk appetite mo, hindi mo na siya talaga itutuloy at all. Kumbaga ignore mo na lang. Tapos i-report mo kay whose call. Yung para kami rin, kung ayaw nyo kasi mag-report sa 1326, pwede nyo po kasing i-report kay whose call.
Oh, ma'am, meron pong isang question dito from our participants, Ask ko lang po, kaya po ba ma-block ng whose call ang mga gambling links or site
Okay.
na nagme-message sa'yo?
Ma-block. Okay, sige. May auto-blocking kami sa Android. Sa Android, no? Pag kagaya ng ibibigay namin sa inyo, premium basic yan. Anong ibig sabihin nun? You enjoy the premium features of whose call, may konting ads lang kami. Kasi syempre, at the end of the day, business is business, hindi naman namin mabigay like 100% ad-free. Because if you wanted the 100% ad-free, then you need to pay together with some more automated features. Ganoon kasi siya. Pero in this case, yes, kaya yan. In fact, kumukuha sa amin si CICC ng URL na na-report kay whose call related to gambling. Marami yan. Actually, hindi lang kami as a private entity allowed really to disclose yung gambling sites. Tina-turn over namin yun sa CICC. But when CICC reports that to the public, they give credit naman to us that portion of the data came from us, aside from those reported to their agency.
Yon. Okay, so kaya avail na po kayo ng whose call, i-download na po natin. Laking tulong po nito, napakagaling nang nakaisip po nitong whose call para sa ating lahat, lalong-lalo na yung mga scammers natin, beware na po kayo. Ma'am, eto po, may isa po dito, AI somehow is very helpful, but we need to be careful or accountable in using some link because it will use our personal information that might be stealing with the scammer.
AI somehow is very helpful. Yes, that's true. But we need to be careful and accountable. Correct, correct. So I guess ganito po siya, no? Kasi lalo na tayo, 'di ba, sa mga teachers, that I guess you can also apply, no? You can also apply in your respective schools or academic institutions, no? I-adapt po natin, ano? I-adapt po natin yung responsible use ng AI. 'Di ba? So kasi sa responsible use ng AI, 'di ba, meron tayong tinatawag doon na parang risk assessment, 'di ba? Nagko-conduct tayo ng risk assessment in terms of security, privacy, accountability sa ano, no, sa AI safety. So these are some of the key principles pag sinabi kasi nating a responsible use ng ano ng AI. And of course, kasama diyan kasi meron din kasing malaking responsibilidad dyan, yung masasabi nating developers and also deployers. Sa larangan kasi ng AI, may mga roles tayo. Developer, sino yan? Microsoft, Copilot, di ba? Yung mga well-known na lang yung i-share ko. Kasi ang daming tools. Yung mga iba kasi, hindi rin kasi namin masyadong ginagamit. And ako, hindi ko rin masyadong ginagamit. Kasi usually ko, hindi ginagamit ng company namin. Sabi ko nga, we are really high on the Google environment. So we're really using Gemini, the enterprise edition of Gemini, no? So ako, on my personal use, Gemini din yung ginagamit ko. So siguro, just for the purpose of purpose of discussion, let's say si Google. Okay, kaibigan naman natin yung mga nasa Google. Sige. So sila, they adapt the responsible AI framework. Marami po 'yan. May mga international frameworks tayo na pwedeng sundin. Ibig sabihin nun, pag magde-develop sila ng isang solution, online service na powered by AI, nagri-risk assessment sila. Sa risk assessment, doon nila nalalaman, ay ito pala yung mga harms nito. Ay nako, ano pala, 'di ba? Ito palang AI na to, 'di ba? Lumabas sa risk assessment, ano pala to? Pwede pala to mag-script ng mga personal data o mag-kolekta ng personal data. Ayaw natin 'yon. Bakit? Kasi ayaw natin dun sa prompt, 'di ba? Sa prompt, whether Google 'yan Gemini yung Copilot or ChatGPT 'yan. Ayaw natin na let's say kapag magpa-prompt ka doon, let's say lalagay mo, how old is Mel Megrino? Or parang what is the educational background of Mel Megrino? Remember, sa larangan ng data privacy, your name plus your academic background is a personal data. Your name together with your medical history or even a portion of your medical history is a sensitive personal information, SPI yan. Kahit sa larangan ng GDPR. Ayaw mo rin na ma-check to, halimbawa, sa let's say si Miss Tess. Let's say for Miss Tess, example lang to, Miss Tess, halimbawa Teresita Reyes, ganyan. So, what is the medical history or parang ano ba yung latest medical treatment of Teresita Reyes? Yun ang ayaw natin, ano? And that is really a crime na ilalabas sa iyo yun ng AI. Kaya sa tanong mo, sir, dalawa ang merong responsibilidad dyan. Developer, which is really the big tech companies, kagaya kami sa Gogulok. Gogulok is both a developer and deployer. Ano ibig sabihin ng deployer? Yung dini-develop, di ba, yung framework ng developer ng malalaking tech companies, ina-adapt yan ng deployer to develop their own solutions powered by AI na ino-offer sa business enterprise, academe, and also potentially do sa mga individuals. Ganun siya, no? And then yung nasa last mile o nasa last leg ng role ng AI is tayo na, users na. So, sa tanong mo, dalawa ang may take dyan. So, they really need to do the risk assessment kasi I fully agree to your point, hindi kasi talaga dapat ganun. Hindi talaga dapat nakakapag-gather, nakakapag-scrape, nakakapag-store ng personal info si AI. Ang pwede niya magamit, halimbawa, ChatGPT or Google Gemini, let's say, tinanong niyo ako, iba pa parang, who is Mel Megrino? Yes, meron talaga sa yung ilalabas si ChatGPT. Pero kinukuha niya yun kung ano yung publicly available information about me. Ay, si Mel pala ganito, ay si Mel pala ganito, ay si Mel pala CEO ng ganito. Diba? Ay si Mel pala council president ng isang non-profit org sa Singapore. Yun yung ilalabas niya. Why? Because that is an information about me that is publicly available. In other words, may hangganan.
Ayun, maraming salamat po, Miss Mel. Naku, kulang na kulang po yung oras natin, ano? At tama si Miss Dang. Ano po, actually, Iimbitahan po namin uli kayo. Sabihin ko po kay Sir Jim na magkakaroon po ulit tayo ng ganitong pag-uusap dahil napakaraming dapat pag-usapan dito sa ating ano no cyber security. So muli palakpakan po natin si Miss Mel at si Sir Luigi para sa pagbabahagi ng who's call at ng gugulok po para sa araw na ito. Okay, maraming salamat din po dun sa mga nagtanong. Thank you to everyone who actively engaged in uh, today's question and answer. At this point, let's welcome back Mr. Jim Toscano to deliver his closing remarks.
Ayan, thank you so much Mel and Luigi and Tess. Kahit ako 'no, nakikinig ako ng sobrang seryoso because, um, there are a lot of scams and frauds talaga that are happening and it's costing us. Medyo ano, if we commit mistakes related to scam and fraud, while we don't blame ourselves for that, because they're taking advantage of us, they can be sometimes expensive mistakes. Yun yung medyo inaalala ko kanina, no, yung they can be expensive mistakes on our side. So awareness is not enough. As we close this session, I want to leave you with a clear and direct call to action siguro, no? We can listen to webinars. You can nod in agreement to Mel and Luigi and all of us here. We can say that scams are increasing and that AI is being misused. But if we do nothing after this session, no, then knowledge remains passive. And passive knowledge does not protect anyone. So today, it's not just about information. We are being equipped. So I want to give our sincerest gratitude to Luigi and Mel for teaching us, educating us about the changing landscape of technology and the risks and challenges that go with it. No, you learn how the scam landscape has evolved and continues to evolve. No, AI, it's emerging technology that should be good, but it's also being weaponized. So manipulation is out there. It sounds scary, but we know that there are practical safeguards that Mel and Luigi has given us. So first, let's apply them. No, let's review our privacy settings right now. Be critical of the calls and the messages that go with that you receive. Talk to your family, your colleagues, and your students as well. Digital safety is everyone's responsibility. Second, activate the tool. This is a very concrete call to action. Google Look has given free access to Who's Call Basic Premium. On our website right now, I saw already that the poster instruction has been posted by our team. Please take a look at that. Follow the instruction. Do not let this opportunity go unused. No, download the app, explore its features, experience how real-time detection works as well. So third, bring the conversation to your institution. So if you're an educator, integrate digital safety in your lesson. If you're a school leader, or if you know a school leader, review your program awareness. Contact us, contact Gogulok as well, so that we can extend our support with you. So let this not be the end of just another webinar that you've attended. Ang daming tanong about certificate. Yung certificate natin, mawawalan yan ng visa kung ang mga pera naman natin or information ay mawawala sa atin because we're not focused on that. So let this be the moment we decide to become more vigilant, more proactive, and more responsible in the digital world. So thank you again to Google Look for sharing Luigi and Mel, and for bringing Host School as well to our awareness, and for extending an action which is to download and take advantage. No, so thank you so much, Google Look. Of course, with Tagpros Education for this wonderful practical protection webinar. So thank you as well to our participants coming from different parts of the Philippines. Again, dear participants, the next move is yours. Stay informed, stay critical, and stay protected. Back to you, Tess. Thank you.
Yon. Thank you so much, Sir Jim. So, dear educators, please join me in thanking Sir Jim, Miss Mel, and Sir Luigi for another insightful sharing for this morning. Let's give them our virtual applause and heart react. Yun po yung challenge po sa atin ni Sir Jim, ano, let's act together. Kasi baliwala po itong mga binigay ni Miss Mel, lahat ng binigay ni Sir Luigi, kung hindi nyo naman, ida-download yung Who's Call. Napakaganda po nito, no? Napakaganda para ma-safeguard po tayo sa lahat ng mga scammers. Okay, so as we close, let us remember the key lessons from today. Stay aware of emerging digital threats, practice strong cyber hygiene, use practical safeguards like the Who's Call app, and engage responsibly and ethically online. The digital world is always evolving, so continuous learning and vigilance are essential to keeping ourselves and our communities safe. Once again, our heartfelt thanks to Miss Mel Migrino for sharing her expertise and inspiration with us today. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. At this has been the Emerging Threats, AI, and Blockchain Safeguards in Staying Safe Online. Again, protect, connect, and innovate. Teach with passion every day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. God bless us all.